This episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Forza Motorsport 7, the official racing simulator of the Smoking Tire Podcast. Get ready for the thrill of motorsport at the limit. Gear up for the most comprehensive, beautiful, and authentic racing game ever made. Forza Motorsport 7 is here, available now on the Xbox One and Windows 10 PCs. With Forza Motorsport 7, everyone can experience the danger and beauty of competitive racing at the limit. Collect over 700 Forza Vista cars. And what is a Forza Vista car? It means that you don't just get the shell of the car and the dynamics of the car. You get working doors, interior controls. You can open the hood and the trunk. You can take a full look around the car in amazing detail. Forza Motorsport 7 has the largest collection of Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Porsches available in any racing game, including the all-new GT2 RS. Master over 30 famous environments with 200 circuits with dynamic conditions that change every time you race. Download the free demo if you want for Xbox One or Windows 10. Hit us up at TST Racing on Xbox Live. Forza Motorsport 7 is the official racing simulator of the Smoking Tire Podcast, available at xbox.com/Forza or ForzaMotorsport.net. The holidays are here. Let's talk about Proflowers. Oh man, there's a lot of people this holiday. When you live in California, you don't get to see all your East Coast people. My parents, my sister, and my parents and my sister are three people that are collectively very difficult to shop for. And that's where Proflowers comes in. They can have beautiful bouquets sent to my family all the way across the country, delivered at a precise time and place. The flowers will look fresh. They just sent me, I think it's their fall bouquet, and boom, you open it, it popped. It was for my birthday. It was nice. Looks good. Every box of flowers they've sent me has actually looked pretty sweet and stayed pretty sweet for at least 7 to 10 days. It comes with plant food and even a vase. Let's see, what do we have? Ooh, you can get a bouquet or festive plant from Proflowers. It's perfect because it's not the same old traditional gift. It says so much more. The best-selling candy cane roses are a great option for a holiday gift, December birthday, or an anniversary. Or you can always go with the classic mini Christmas tree that comes with lights and ornaments. Proflowers bouquets and plants are guaranteed to stay fresh, and you control the delivery date. They give you more bloom for your buck, big, beautiful flowers, more stems for your money, and long-lasting freshness. To get 20% off all bouquets of $29 or more this holiday season, go to proflowers.com. 20% off all bouquets, $29 or more, by using code SMOKING at checkout. Proflowers.com. Smoking is the code at checkout, and that is for 20% off all bouquets of $29 or more at Proflowers. Ooh, what do we got? We got Omaha Steaks. You know what is the perfect gift for someone who has it all? I mean, people who have it all, they're tough to shop for, but you know what a lot of them like? Meat. I like meat. I think I have it all. I got a pretty good life, and I like meat. Omaha Steaks is where the best get their meat. I recently ordered from Omaha Steaks. I got a nice crate, $49.99. I got a family gift pack, which is what I'm offering you guys. Code TIRE. It's going to be 75% off, right? The family gift pack is steaks, meats. Here we go. Less than $50. Here's what comes in the family gift pack. 2 filet mignons, 2 top sirloins, 2 boneless pork chops, 2 boneless chicken breasts, 4 kielbasa sausages, 4 burgers, 4 potatoes au gratin, 4 caramel apple tartlets, 1 Omaha Steaks seasoning packet, and 4 more additional sausages for free. Did you hear all those meats? That is less than $50. $49.99, 75% savings right now with code TIRE. At omahasteaks.com. They're giving an exclusive savings just to my listeners. Less than $50, code TIRE. I'm going to list it again. Filet mignons, sirloins, pork chops, chicken breasts, sausages, burgers, potatoes au gratin, caramel apple tartlets, Omaha Steaks seasoning packet, and 4 extra sausages for free. Woo! omahasteaks.com. Code TIRE at checkout. Get a 75% savings in all that meat for $49.99 for the holidays. I love it. And now, a little more of a downer. It is very likely that you or someone you know owns a vehicle affected by the Takata airbag recall. That's because 46 million vehicles have been recalled in the U.S. alone. Faulty airbags were installed in certain vehicles from model years 2001 through 2016. Those vehicles equipped with faulty airbags could seriously injure or kill the driver or passengers in the event of a crash, even at very low speeds. And if the airbag deploys, the airbag could shoot metal shrapnel throughout the interior. I'm going to say that sentence again. The airbag could shoot metal shrapnel throughout the interior. So basically, instead of an airbag in your steering wheel, you have a shotgun. That's good. While some owners have brought their vehicles in for their free repair, there are still millions and millions and millions of vehicles out there that have unrepaired, dangerous airbags. Please protect yourself and help protect the ones you love. Log on to nhsta.gov, that's nhsta.gov, and check out the list of affected vehicles to find out if your vehicle or the vehicle of someone you love is on the list of those affected by the Takata airbag recall. Whether you own a 10-year-old economy car or a brand new supercar, yes, there are even $1 million plus sports cars affected by this recall. Please schedule an appointment to receive your free repair. Again, log into nhsta.gov to see if your car is affected by this urgent airbag recall. Thank you. Now enjoy this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast. These hoes ain't loyal. We're here. How about now? We're looking at now, sir.
Now is now.
Everything is happening now. What's up? It's a Sunday. It's Sunday. Smoking Tire Podcast. Here we are. This is the redo of the now that we just did because the thing had the issue. And here we go. It's a show. Sunday. Manuel Carrillo in the building.
Yes.
Bienvenidos. Welcome.
Whatever you prefer.
What's happening?
Yeah,
¿Qué
thanks for
pasó?
having me.
Automotive journalist, enthusiast, man who does his hair before coming on a radio show.
Why do you think I'm wearing a hat?
Let's see. Plug it. MC3 Films on Instagram. And where can we find your internet brand's materials?
I mean, I am in charge of editorial for 9 sites specifically, so Corvette Forum, MB World, The Mustang Source, JK Forum, 5series.net, Teamspeed.com, MustangForums.com, Dodge Forum, and ATVconnection.com. So that's a lot of stuff to do, and I manage 31 writers.
Good God.
Yeah, along with a team of 3 other guys in the office, and so it's a lot of work. But we
Does
get it
Ralph
done.
work for you? He does, doesn't he?
Ralph
Gara?
Gara works for Racing Junk, and that's another spectrum of the company.
Same web, right?
Same company, but
okay.
just in, like their automotive classifieds were automotive community.
Zach just had a great joke, but Tim stepped on it unknowingly.
That's
Zach, while you were listing off all those things, Zach did a great yawn joke, but Tim cut to the shot of you so no one could find out. So I laughed at the joke, but only me. I'm sorry.
What,
Good to have you, man.
what are they? Because I worked for internet brands years ago, but they write for the forums, like the homepage, right? There's articles on the homepage.
So yeah, we're in charge of all the homepage articles for all the forum sites, and we have 130 forum
So
sites.
when you go to racingjunk.com or whatever, any one of those huge lists you just listed, like there is editorial on there.
That's
in
correct.
addition to just people saying "Fox bodies suck, bro," and praising S54 swaps.
or people asking questions and the response being search bar, dude. And it's like you can clear out a lot of hard drive space.
What
doing
was
that.
that? What's the best way to get the answer on the internet is to present an incorrect solution and just wait for someone to correct you.
That's a great
That's
idea.
the best way to get the actual answer to anything
That's
on the
genius.
internet. Even Timmy's like, oh, I'm going to do that one.
I'll be doing that later.
Yeah, but in a nutshell, we're like the friendly face on the front pages of these forums that kind of make it more welcoming to come in and make it less intimidating to make it make the user experience less.
You give the forum a voice, a personality.
Exactly.
That's controlled by you guys and not by just like the angriest guy on the forum.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it makes it better for advertising, and dollars is good.
By the numbers, who's the most enthusiastic forum?
Well, Corvette Forum is our biggest overall forum, and then as far as like front page,
Is that So you think that's? I think that's by virtue of the fact that like I think a lot of these communities are. Tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of these communities like divided with what forums they use, but like every Corvette owner I know goes on Corvette forum.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the largest Corvette community on the internet.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that is the
By
destination
like a lot, right?
by a significant margin. Yeah.
And I wonder if that car helped pull older people into forums and the internet.
I would like to think so. It's interesting. It's an older demographic. It's like, wow, these guys know how to use computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're just figuring out. I mean, they can't really use HTML, but they try. You know,
They can do Corvette forum, AOL Instant Messenger
and
with
the
creepy
stock
chat
app
rooms
on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that.
Yeah.
But Corvettes are. It's like somewhere in between a DIY and like one of those old school hot roddy crowds. There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
In that
Except for C4s. I mean, we're all going to Radwood here, and I think there's a C4 upswelling coming up as a result of people our age who are getting interested in the cars that they were growing up with, the Corvettes of that generation. My dad's first Corvette was a 92, and I'm in love with that car, and I have the VIN number.
A square nose or a round nose? It's a round nose,
It's
right?
a rounder nose of the
First
C4.
year of a round nose.
So later C4.
Yeah.
Are the frames on those worth any? Like, are they? Do you need a full Resto Mod C4 to make it any good?
No, they
not
drive
bad.
a lot better than they look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I was just in Texas, and I drove a Callaway twin turbo C4, which is one of the most hilarious cars you've ever seen because this one was original. It was like the guy bought. It was like it was, and it even had like shitty period tires on it. They weren't 30 years old, but they were period tires, and it made 475 wheel horsepower at 4,800 RPM with a red line at 5,100.
No
it was like
way.
it was like driving a dually.
Wow.
And then the racetrack I drove it at, which was called Eagle Canyon Raceway down in Texas, was super, super bumpy. And like the configuration was lovely, but the surface was horrible. And like it was like driving like a Cadillac. Like it had the wallow, that like the circular motion it does. It had that.
Was it terrifying though?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. No, actually, do you drive a bunch of C4s?
I've only driven one C4.
Was that it? The
It was
92?
a 85 that Brian McQueen from the Driving While Awesome podcast. He bought one for $1,900 in Pahrump, Nevada.
Oh my God.
At SEMA. He was like, he got a wild hair up his ass one morning.
It's like, I'm just going to buy a car.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to just take ownership of this C4. And then he goes to Pahrump with
Take
an Uber.
ownership is the
Yeah.
most highfalutin way to say I'm going to buy a C4 in Pahrump, Nevada for $1,900. I am paying this guy's rent for 3 months in a trailer. That's what's happening.
Taking ownership means I'm buying meth by proxy.
Basically, yeah. So he goes up to Pahrump via Uber. All right, and he's got it.
It's like a 50-mile Uber.
Yeah, and he's got it set in his mind. I'm going to leave with a C4. And he goes and he buys the car, and he gets the guy down to $1,900 because I think the guy was asking like $2,900 for it, but
Yeah.
he was able to wheel and deal. And so he buys the car. He comes back. He starts coming back to Vegas, headed back towards SEMA. And within about 10 miles, he's starting to get some serious buyer's remorse. So he tries to give the car back to the guy saying, you know what, I want to pull out of this deal. This guy's like 76 years old, all right? He's fed up with this Bay Area Californian dude. Like, you stupid fucking Californians. Cussing him out, saying every possible word in the book to him, making him feel like a total piece of shit. He's like, all right, I guess I'll keep the car.
Is he stuck with it now?
He's stuck with it. But
And?
so I drove it when he got back to SEMA with it, and I loved it. I thought it was a great car. Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
You're like, give me 2,000 even.
Oh my god, like I totally wanted to buy
I'll
it.
give you $1,200.
Oh my god, it's such a good car. I mean,
How was the steering?
Such a good car is a big... Okay. That's
for
big
$1,900,
words.
it's a good car. It's a Corvette,
Yeah.
and it's actually
Adjust
There
expectations,
we
Zach.
go.
$1,900.
I'm
I know. I
pretty
mean,
sure.
no, it looked like somebody had taken a shit in it, but the steering was kind of tight.
That was the one thing that, because if you look at a C5 or a C4, it looks like it's made of fucking Legos.
Right.
It feels like it's made of fucking Legos.
Yeah.
When you hit a pothole, it sounds like it's made of Legos.
Yeah.
But then when you go to turn in, it turns in like super hard and sticky and has like really precise steering, and you're like, what the fuck? It doesn't make
got a
lot
wide
of
track.
It make a lot of sense. I don't know why it happens like that, right?
Yeah, it's like, where did that come from? This
Yeah.
is 80s GM
That
bullshit.
Callaway too, yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one, the round nose ones, were even better. Like those C4 ZR1s, like them fuckers are fast.
Yeah,
They're
very
really, really
true.
fast cars.
The only one I ever drove was in Colorado when I was a valet. A guy had one that was white with orange racing stripes, and it sounded mean. And I remember the first time I got in, I was like, whoa, cool. And I get in, and the interior just looks like old CD trays that were like slammed together on the dashboard. All the green, everything was green. And I just punched it, and it was like... It was kind of disappointing as far as the straight line goes.
Yeah,
But-
the build quality on them is really, really terrible.
The way things are screwed in, the exposed screws are just
Yeah.
weird to
They
look
didn't
at.
use screws.
Yeah.
But they're coming. But now they're at the point where they're so cheap.
Yeah.
Where it's like fuck. Now they're coming back into ironic cool, and I don't think they'll ever get to real cool.
It may just not be enough performance without modifications to be cool, you know? Like, you'd have to put money in suspension and engine work to make them anything.
But you can't unshitbox something.
That's what I was.
That's
that
the
was my
difference.
question.
Like my 911 is not that fast, but it's tight as a drum.
You
like,
unshitboxed the Fox body.
No, it's still kind of shitboxy.
You just-
I mean,
It's a little ragged.
Bolt enough metal
know.
to it.
I made it like more race car-y, but like I didn't unshitbox it.
Okay.
Like it's still like there's some rattle. There's no insulation in it. Like it rattles and stuff if I go over some.
Oh,
things a
I
little
meant
bit.
like structural shitboxiness. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh no, it's it's tight. It's structurally yes, it is tight, but like the build quality is still fucking horrible.
Okay.
I mean, I can hit when I wiggle the door handle enough for it to go like the it's like a
funny.
Fox
That's
body. Like
amazing.
you can't that's like remember John Ward came on the podcast. You know John.
Oh,
Ward,
yeah, I love
right?
Jonathan Ward.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Came on the podcast talking about that Impala SS that he did that looks just like an Impala SS, but like that's a $200,000 Impala SS. Why? Because that's what it costs to unshitbox that car. Like he took everything that was made of garbage and made it out of nice things.
True.
It's $200,000.
And then you can buy a $1,000 E30, and the parts that aren't broken actually feel pretty good still.
Yeah.
Like just because of the build quality.
And you're talking about your Fox body. It's reminding me that we have a very similar history with cars because
Really? What have you had?
Well, I have a Fox body. I have a '91 Mustang GT convertible that my oldest brother, bought brand new.
Really?
In '91 or early '92. It was like a year-end closeout car. He put 400,000 miles on that thing
400
over the course of 12 years.
Original engine?
Original engine, yeah. And then he gave it to me.
Wow.
And
What
then
color
I put
is it?
Black on the gray interior,
Leather or cloth?
the cloth.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Lucky.
So
If
that
it
was
was leather, it'd be a disaster by
Oh,
now.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it looks
yeah.
great.
How does it look? How does the cloth interior look at 400K?
It's not bad. No. It was all freeway miles, so it was pretty good. And I put like $4,000 in the car when he gave it to me.
Uh-huh.
So I got it kind of nice, but then I crashed it.
Oh.
But it's in my mom's driveway. And
Still crashed?
yeah, I mean, well, so I was coming back from school in late '04, and I was still in college back then, and I was taking a turn like a steady state corner a little bit too quickly.
That was your problem. You're turning.
Yeah. And then some ice plant was on the asphalt. So it was raining, and I started fishtailing, and I overcorrected because I wanted to avoid at all costs the Isuzu Rodeo on the inside lane. So I ended up fishtailing and then putting it into 50 feet of chain link fence.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so it bunched up against the door, and it high centered the car, and I had to get it towed off the high centering of the fence.
Oh, so that probably made a little more damage.
Yeah, it was okay though. It kind of, it was all right, and I drove it for 6 months after that, and then the clutch cable snapped in March of '05, and I didn't drive it after that.
You hit like a Los Angeles snowstorm. You're like, I hit ice plant while turning, and
You
it's like,
continue driving it after a crash, and yet a cable has sidelined this vehicle for 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I started it.
Should we go fund me a cable? You think we could raise the $18 for a run to AutoZone?
if you want the sleeve, that's
Yeah,
rock
but the
auto.
labor on that thing is really
It's
intensive.
probably a pain in the dick.
Yeah. So that's what's kind of kept me from doing that.
Well, but we can get to your other project in a minute, but like you're clearly capable of this labor you speak of. It's
A
just,
little
do you
bit, I
want
guess.
to?
I just need help. That's the thing.
Okay.
I can, I took, a semester of auto shop in school, so yeah, I
Yeah,
can
well,
get
what's
by.
the worst thing that happens? It takes 12 years? I mean,
But that,
I could
You know what?
follow my own advice in that regard, but
Yeah.
You listened to the motor fair that he had, what's the guy's name, Nigel from Australia on?
I was on that show.
Right, so he
Yeah.
built a Tacoma drift truck from scratch in 5 years.
Yeah.
and you've taken 12 plus to get a cable on and learn
because-
how to replace a cable.
Because mechanically, I am pathetic.
Where is this car sitting?
In my mom's driveway.
Oh my God, your
Yeah.
poor mother.
Oh, she's a
she put up
trooper.
with that for 12 years.
and counting.
Fuck, does it have one of those like? Does it have grass that grows like sort of through and into it?
It's on brick, so it's pretty protected
Oh
from
my
that.
God,
It's under a
on
cover.
bricks.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it looks like the DeLorean
it's
in the
not on
beginning of Back
bricks.
to the Future
helping
3.
the property value.
No. It's on brick of the driveway. It's not on. It's on its its
okay.
tires and everything. It's fine. If we could roll it, Yeah.
Cool. Man, you could have taken that
Bring
to
it back.
Radwood.
We can
'cause
bring it
that's-
back.
I was telling my cousin about Radwood, and I was like, I was inspired to go Vanilla Ice hair and buy a $1,000 GT convertible, because if you go to like Inglewood, you can find them. And I was like, but I just don't want to spring the money. He's like, jokes are priceless, man. You can't put a price on that.
I mean, I have to be honest. You could probably find a running Fox body for less than I spent on my Radwood outfit.
I looked. There was one for 1,400.
No, I haven't spent.
And
that
I
much.
really wouldn't. It was like, don't ask questions. Kind
Don't
of runs. Like, if you go, this is a car where if you went and bought it, like you're like the guy, what's his name for Perump, you would not go back and say, you know what, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
I just read a book. I read a book. This is a rare fucking thing. Read a book. I read the whole book on my 6-hour flight home from New
Oh,
York
the places
last night.
you'll go.
Because I proposed to my girlfriend, engaged.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And we can. I'll get Hannah back on the show. People after that. I put that on Instagram. Lots of people requesting a follow-up podcast with Hannah, so we'll do that. But this book called "God Wants You to Roll." Have you heard of this book? It's by John Phillips, who was the editor of Car and Driver for a while, and it's about the biggest auto retail scam ever. These two guys sold $21 million worth of cars from an estate auction. Guy didn't exist. Cars didn't exist. $21 million changes hand over 7 years. Not one person takes delivery of one fucking car.
Oh, God.
Until
Wait, they
finally
stretched
get
the sale
caught.
for 7 years.
7 years. And they were selling the guy who died supposedly died in 1995. They're selling 2000 model year cars on these lists. No one asks any questions. This is one of those things where it's like that Bernie Madoff. You want to see the Bernie Madoff with Robert fucking De Niro in it or whatever?
yeah.
Or about the real
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Like, no one ever asked any questions. Like, they open the door for questions to be asked all the time, and like no one asks any questions.
Was he pricing things low enough where someone's like, Great Teal, got to jump on
yeah,
it?
it was basically
Right.
like, you can have this car for free, just pay the $2,000 tax and registration. You know what I mean? And like you got to pay
Wow.
the tax and registration now. You get the car, in 8 months when probate is over. And they were doing it through churches, and it was like, oh, like God, this rich guy died and left the cars to the church, and so like God has blessed you and wants you to have a free car. Like, they got 7 fucking years. The book is so crazy. It is so crazy.
Were some of the cars priced for like $1 million? Because otherwise, to do
No.
$2,000 sales, how many times to make how much?
Dude,
money?
they sold 4,000 fake cars to people. 4,000 people bought cars that did not exist. Not one person ever took delivery.
And that's religion.
wow.
Over 7 years.
There is a sucker born every minute. Of
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Well, apparently, like,
Or 4,000.
and they sold even more because, like, a bunch of people, like, they're part of the scam was they said, like, if you're uncomfortable about the length of time you're waiting or whatever, just say so and you get your money back at any time. And, like, sometimes they were a little slower than others to give their money back, but, like, everyone who asked for their money back got it. And so, like, you'd be like, what kind of a fucking scam would you just get your money back if you asked for it? Like, who would?
Right.
But, only half the people ask for their money back.
Wow.
The other half are sitting there twiddling their fucking thumbs. Crazy.
Unbelievable.
The book is called God Wants You to Roll. And it's an awesome book. It's from, like, I don't know, 2005 or 2006.
The volume of paperwork to sell 4,000 fake cars for that much money, and just, dude.
It was so crazy. Well, he got, like, the scammers, like, got, like, the old church ladies, basically, to, like, pyramid scheme this shit.
Oh, they helped them.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Big
so,
number.
like, these two guys, like, no one had ever seen these two guys. And they were, like, a black dude and, like, a Hispanic dude that both had, like, super white-sounding voices. They trained themselves just so they could, like, work the phones and put, yeah, there it is, God wants you to roll.
Hi, I just want
The guy fucking even looks. Pull that picture back up to me. That's the guy. One of the two guys. They called him Buddha. His name was Robert Gomez. On the cover of the book, he even looks like he's trying to do a Pablo Escobar look.
He does. But his voice was like, I just went to Banana Republic and now I'm selling some old cars.
It was a fucking craziness. So you can buy. I bought the book used for like, I don't know, $10 or
$21
whatever.
million.
It's crazy.
And I grew up reading John Phillips and Car and Driver. So
I love it.
he's an amazing writer.
Yeah,
Wow.
It was a really, really good book. And the book was an expansion of, he did write an article for Car and Driver about this guy.
Of course.
And the book is an expansion on it.
That's bananas.
If you're into cars, like I like recommending car books, and that's a good car book. I definitely recommend it. I'll pass it around the room if you
I'll
guys
definitely
wanna
read that.
Yeah, I mean, for me to finish a book in 5 hours is like unheard of.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good book, quick read.
I read a lot, but I don't read books, so that's a good one. So how'd you get into media?
Well, I actually I started interning, like an underground internship, through listening to the radio on K-Rock one day. So like Kevin and Bean in the morning back in like 2005. And I heard this guy on the phone promoting a new show that he was starting called Topless Sports News.
That's why I don't listen to the radio.
This is what you sign up for. I mean,
Yeah. So I'm like, this is really intriguing. Topless girl giving the sports. Yeah, sign me up. So the guy gave.
Assuming this title is what it seems.
So the guy gives out his email, and immediately I go to my MSN.com account. So we're talking 2005 here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really interested in what you've got going on there, and I'd like to do some kind of internship or something with you guys. And so I just kept following up with the guy for like 2 weeks, and finally he paid attention to me and like, all right, well, let's meet on like 12:30 on Friday. And then within like 5 minutes, we were like starting to do production work like immediately. I was just, boom, boom, boom. So that guy ended up becoming like family to me, and he also ran a limo business, and so I would drive that on the weekends, and
he had hands in a few cookie jobs,
But it was a way to kind of get me in touch with like the whole LA and the media scene and everything. But anyhow, so that kind of got my feet wet in the industry on the underground.
So you're just like gophering and doing like bullshit work.
Yeah, but like like copywriting.
Were you doing real radio work?
No, that was like online media stuff. Like my first foray into like video on the web back in 2005. And so doing some sports copywriting and learning how to like render the environments because we were shooting in front of a green screen. Oh yeah. So it was a pretty cool experience. And then
getting paid to learn is clutch.
Yeah,
figure that out somehow.
Because nowadays internships are usually unpaid because it's like you're getting paid in knowledge.
I didn't clarify. Do they pay you?
At the beginning, it wasn't, and then they started paying me after a couple months.
Nice.
So it was just becoming an integral part of the team and everything. So yeah, it was good. And then towards my getting into my last year of college, then it was time to go above board and actually do it for like a recognized major media company. So I ended up interning for CBS Radio back in 2007. And by the time my internship ended, they immediately hired me. A full-time position opened up, and then I was with them for 2 years. I was in charge of all the giveaways, and I wrote all the promos for the station, and did a couple.
I hear the giveaways are all a scam on the radio. I have friends in radio, and they're like, they just tell their boys to call up, and that's it. It's all fun. They just give everything to their friends, dude.
Not as many people sign up.
You don't have to throw anyone under the bus individually, but
no.
Wink on that.
I'm not saying
go to
that.
A 2-shot.
keep your hands together if we're right.
Yeah, but not to get any specifics out there, but not as many people sign up for these contests as you would think, But
so it's like caller 25 wins it. It's like 6 people call. And you're like, not caller 6. You're caller number 25.
Yeah,
6 plus 19.
But yeah, that was interesting being a part of that. And then the Great Recession hit, and ended up moving to Australia for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, ended up selling Skodas.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
So when the recession hit, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Oh my God, it was the worst. It was by far the worst thing I've ever been through in my life. But
really?
But the best thing, because when you go through shit like that, it teaches you who you really are.
Were you like upside down on a bunch of shit?
Oh my God,
did you just take out a fucking mortgage or something?
Oh, it was terrible.
Really?
It was I mean, I felt like when I left this country, I felt like an economic refugee.
Really?
I was like, rock bottom level shit.
You went to kind of an expensive country.
Well, yeah, I mean,
did you walk off the plane holding headphones and a microphone, and you were like, "Please help me"?
No, I mean, it was like on my last.
My radio job is gone.
It was like I had built up credit over the years, and then I totally just abolished it because that's how I had to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's how it got me started in Australia. And luckily, I had a friend out there. who had an empty room in his flat. And he had a guy looking after it for him, but he had an empty room, and he and his wife would come up to Sydney like once a month to go see a concert or something, but they lived about 200 miles inland with their very young
They
son.
live in Mars.
So yeah, basically,
It's like, wow, people live there.
That's great.
no, in a place called Wagga Wagga.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Can't write this shit, folks.
Yeah. so
Can you pull up Google Maps, Tim? I want to know where the fuck Wooga Wooga
Like a
is.
joke punchline in America. Death by Wooga Wooga.
We need to. I mean, we can't just let that one go.
Home of the Zomato.
yeah.
How do you spell Wooga Wooga?
WAGGA.
Oh, is that it? Wagga Wagga.
Wagga.
It's Wagga Wagga.
But no, I because I only heard it said that way. It's just
Right.
kind of in my mind that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Vegemite, I can't say it in an American accent.
Yeah, like I can't think about Vegemite without wanting to vomit. That's the same kind. The same exact kind of thing.
I can't eat it with an American accent.
Tim, all you have to do is go to Google Maps. What are you doing, buddy? You are struggling hard as
If
fuck.
that's what you
This
care
is
to
why-
I
see.
know where Wooga Wooga is.
This is why internships go
That
unpaid.
fucking arrow. Remember talking about being paid to learn?
Is that where does that arrow? That's
Yeah, that's very vague.
right. Is that a?
That's from a Netscape picture.
That was
Go
off the early.
There you go.
Like it was a Prodigy image or some shit.
Hey, Wagga Wagga.
Yeah,
Let's
zoom
try
out.
it.
Zoom out from that. It looks like it's on a nice river.
Yeah,
If
that's
that
the
river was a road, it'd
that-
be dope.
that's the Murrumbidgee.
What's it called?
The Murrumbidgee.
We'll pull that. Pull
Yeah.
up that.
All right.
That shit.
For the
zoom-
record, the arrow I had was better.
200. Zoom back in then. 200 miles east of, or west of Sydney.
West, yeah.
Doesn't look that far when you look at all of Australia. I
Right,
think.
but it's a good 4 hours.
Yeah. Have you been out to Wagga Wagga?
Oh yeah, I would visit there about once every 6
Is it
weeks
cool?
or so. And it's like a cool little town, like
Is it just like the suburbs?
it's like this isolated suburb in the middle of nowhere.
Can you equate it to? Is it like a baker or
It's like a
bar?
Visalia.
Oh, like a Visalia.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. All right.
Yeah. So it's like a hub town for like the inland area that's
Far away from the ocean. Everything
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
where people go to market.
Yes, you could say that. But yeah, so that was
People meet and trade and sell dust.
How's the Skoda business down in Straya?
I mean, it was struggling. We even though we were a new Skoda dealership, 95% of our business was selling used cars. Luckily for me, I was able to be at the top of the tree my first full month of sales there. But I mean, it was like I was working so much. I was getting paid good, but I was working so much. It's like, okay, well, if you don't have time to spend your money, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I only lasted 10 weeks at that job. It was just, yeah.
So you went from like having negative credit and like being like destitute to like 10 weeks. 10 weeks later, be like, fuck this corporate bullshit, man. I don't need this.
Hilarious.
Yeah, well, I was working 13 days straight, and then I was kind of like losing my mind at the end of those 13 days, and I went up to Byron Bay, which is like the Humboldt of New South Wales, a state where Sydney is in. And I went to visit my friend, and she lived with a friend of hers, and it was like coming into the Garden of Eden, actually the compound of land, like a tract of land.
Humboldt compound.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it wasn't a compound, but like the tract of land that they lived on was called Gan Eden, which is Hebrew for Garden of Eden. It was the foot of Mount Jerusalem. There was literally a serpent living in the garage. It was like a trippy.
Sounds like the start of a porno.
Yeah, well,
does,
it was a trippy like out of body experience. Those 5 days I spent up there. I'm like, I'm driving back down and drive down. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Fuck this. I'm not. I'm here to like kill myself over work. And
10 weeks.
Yeah.
10 weeks,
So I was
son.
like, yeah. Let's readjust here.
And you get a van and a tapestry and call it a day.
Yeah, you show up and you're like, hey, I'm back.
So yeah, I
now
ended
there's
up,
2 serpents in the garage.
yeah. So I ended up leaving that job and coming back to the U.S. about a month after that, and then odd jobs here and there, and then the way I fell into automotive media was I got to shoot the Cara Coachella House. I got to shoot photos for their gifting suite that they were having there, the Cara Coachella House in 2012. And the people I was working for, I was going out to dinner with them every night, and we were talking cars one night, and they're like, "Wow, you know a lot about cars. We actually own a car website too. You should write for us." And that was autofiends.com.
Oh, I remember that
Yeah,
site.
yeah. So
Are
I
they
started,
still around?
No, not anymore. But Zach Bowman got his start there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, started writing for them and handling all their social media. Ended up getting that Twitter account awarded in DuPont Registry's top 10 list of Twitter profiles to follow. And
Oh,
so that was pretty cool. It was a nice little accomplishment early in my career. And then having that on my resume and along with all the previous writing stuff I did in other media, I was able to apply for full-time editorial positions, and that's how I got my job at.
Sorry, that's my phone. You can make it go away. I think that's like 4 shows in a row where my phone has gone off in the first 30 minutes of the show.
Turn it to airplane mode.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
But yeah, having that on my resume, I was able to apply for full-time editorial work, and that's how I got my job at Internet Brands as the automotive content editor there. So
what are you in, like year 5 over there?
I started freelancing for them in 13, and then they hired me on full-time in-house at the beginning of 14.
This kind of job stability.
Yeah, no, it's been
I'm
nice.
very jealous.
Rare
Would
in
be
automotive
would be
media.
nice.
No, and through that, I started my YouTube channel, and then Top Gear USA or America noticed me last year. I got to audition for that show. So
Oh yeah, how did you find that experience?
it was nerve-wracking.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really one of the scariest things.
They really turned the pressure up on that shit.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
What they have you doing?
It was just a Skype audition. It wasn't anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't acting out the scenarios.
No, nothing like that. No,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
get that
when
far.
it gets real.
Yeah.
Topless sportscasting manual.
Yeah, I know. But
You should really go back to that. I see a market.
Yeah.
but that was
That's
such
what Hooters is.
that was such a trip though, because I started watching Top Gear on LimeWire and Kazaa back in 2002. Being a college, or even before, like in high school, still. Staying up in school nights until like 4:30 in the morning, watching Tiff Nadell or Jeremy Clarkson or stuff like that. And one night, 2 years into that, I was thinking about changing my major from mechanical engineering, into something else. I'm like, well, maybe I might, change my major to HR and just get something stable and, just live a regular life like regular people, because that's what you expect,
Oh, God.
And then one night I'm watching, Jeremy Clarkson do some buffoonery. I'm like, wait a minute, why can't I do what these guys do? And then 12 years later, I'm auditioning with one of the guys from the BBC America, and I was like, you know what? Whether anything comes from this or not is neither here nor there for me. The fact that I've gone this far from that kid, just like, what if? It's like, this is such a kids follow your dreams moment for me. So let's party.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very surreal,
It really is, So no, I remember watching your video when you were talking about your C5 and how your parents were against the idea of like, why are you getting that Corvette? And it's like, but it ended up,
It ended up being defining, Yeah. It's weird where you end up if you just kind of don't. I don't know. A lot of people email me asking about like, how do you end up here? And I'm like, I don't know. You put one foot in front of the other for a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Yeah.
I think as long as you're acting on your highest excitement, it'll just kind of take you where you need to go.
That's a good ethos.
I think I gave this talk at a high school a few months ago and was trying to tell them like whether you want to do auto or production or something.
See that.
What?
I would have loved to see you speak.
Oh, dude, it's fun.
We have a tape.
Oh, is it Radcliffe?
You're Radcliffe.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
You went to speak at Rick's school.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rick's School,
awesome.
at their career day. Their shop is crazy. It's like a $2.5 million. They have like 25 3D printers. They have Haas-Cat like CNC machines. I mean, whoa. They could build anything in there.
He's actually going to be in episode 4 of the Project Stork multi-episodic YouTube series. So
they can build anything, but just pick whatever you want to do, and then you'll start walking in that direction, and you'll start making decisions based on like, this will get me closer, this won't, and it just kind of happens.
Point your feet to the brightest spot, and then just target and zero in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try and look at step 934 without realizing they're on step 2.
Right.
Yeah. How do I get a Chiron? I've never done anything, but I have 40 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
So do I just email someone and ask, or what
or
does that work?
something as simple as like, people are like, I want to write for you. I go, cool, send me something. And they go, what do you mean? And I go, well, dude. And they're like, you're not going to tell me what you want me to write? I'm like, fuck no. The thinking about the writing about what you want is like way, it's way harder. I'm not like, I'm not giving you homework. Like, go get it. It's like, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah. No, so I mean, getting the cover, doing everything like, I got to drive the Veyron 2 years ago now. I've been able to cover the Gumball 3000. Gumball Air. Oh my God, that's such a trip.
Gumball is a trip indeed.
But doing stuff like that, it's like, how did I land into this dream? So
yeah, I mean, the people who work the hardest and produce the best results tend to get the best fucking gigs. So if you got the skills and the commitment to do it, the third part of that is, there's like the opportunity,
right,
and then there's the monies. So you got to get the monies is the third part.
Yeah, opportunities usually come first.
Turn into cash. Back it up.
Yeah.
Turn opportunity into cash.
That's the hard
That's the
part.
difficult part.
The ad sales part. No one ever really seems to be able to get that. Everyone's got their own angle on that one.
Yeah, well, the landscape is constantly changing. And
Yeah.
so the financial part of it's constantly changing.
That was the most interesting thing about going to that YouTuber thing with Ferretti in Vegas, was listening to each of the YouTubers like what their hustle is, and everyone had their own kind of hustle, which I thought was very
That's very interesting.
It was very interesting. Like Ferretti is very like watch the numbers and like follow where the numbers go and focus on like fewer videos, but they get bigger hits for each one. Whereas like all the time he spends thinking about how to craft a video that will satisfy those numbers, I just put my head down and spend all that time just cranking out more and more and more and more and more. Which obviously, given that I'm about to retire from that and he is not, he wins, I think. But there was the results in terms of subscribers and in terms of monthly views and in terms of all that, they're roughly the same for me and Ferretti. And so it's just like two different strategies that have ended up in the same place.
Right.
And then it just matters like how much you can get from off of YouTube, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The YouTube guy just convinced me to insert the mid-roll ads, which are the same like the 5-second skippable things, which I was against at first. But then he's like, just try it for a month. Watch the check. Just try
Just a taste.
Just try it for a
Taste
month
fair.
and watch the check. Yeah, he's the $5 rocks. First one's free.
Right.
It only goes in videos over 10 minutes. So, and our average retention is like 5 minutes and 49, which is for YouTube is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I figure the people who are diehard enough to watch the entire videos will understand.
Well, it's nice that the mid-roll ads are short now, because for a while they were pretty lengthy, and some people were dropping them like in 6 different places, which is just crazy.
I think
pants.
you can drop a lot of them now, but I think ours is just I just did the general auto. I guess it somehow searches the video file automatically and finds where to put it.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know
Interesting.
why it does it. I know it only does it in videos longer than 10 minutes. But
And you can skip most of the ads that you encounter too after 5 seconds.
yeah, and the ads that I put in, like the "Hey guys, look at this coffee cup" ads, like you can just drag the cursor right past those if you want. And
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say nothing.
If you have the good internet.
I understand. Yeah. So anyway, we're
Project
where were we?
Stork.
Yeah,
9/11?
Project
You wanna
Stork.
talk about that?
Yeah. So you got this 911.
I got this 911.
Well, technically, your dad got this 911.
Correct. Back in October of 1977, brand new.
What color?
Black on black on black. My dad liked black. It looked more like a professional type, suit, piece of machinery.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was the first vehicle you ever rode in, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. At about, I'm guessing I came home at about 2 days old. Like, the average kid comes about 2 days. Yeah. So, probably about 2 days old. That was my first ever ride in any car. Was a 1977 Porsche 911S. So, it is the very vehicle that brought me home from the hospital after I was born. And so the reason we call it Project Stork is it was literally the stork that delivered me to the doorstep. So, yeah.
Well, what happened to it in between 1977 and 2017?
Well, it was already the impetus behind all of this is by the time it was 8 years old in '85 when I was born, it was already a piece of shit.
Yeah.
My dad was driving from Upland.
Is that it right there?
Yes, that is the very car there, and
Yeah, that thing is medium fucked.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
For
That's
people listening, the right fender has a sort of gray-black rust camo kind of pattern going on.
yes.
Not aftermarket paint by any means.
That's
Patina.
So that's a picture of the car back in late May or so, right after we got it into the Haynes Manual shop. So we're actually doing the restoration at Haynes Manual's headquarters, where they do the
nice.
complete tear down and rebuild of the cars to write their shop manuals for you to buy them in the chief or the.
So are they going to write a
O'Reilly.
shop manual for the 911S?
No, they're not doing that. But we're just using this to kind of drive awareness. We're doing a partnership between Internet Brands and Haynes to drive awareness across all of our Porsche-related sites. For
How
their
fortunate
stuff.
for you.
Yeah.
How fortunate for you to have a 911 laying around that needs restoration. I know how this works.
Yes, you certainly do. I was going to say, you can't be speaking jealously.
So
Haters be hating.
Right.
And I be hating for sure.
How's your
Fruits off that tree.
Clarion stereo, by the way?
I love my new Clarion stereo. 911.
Right.
It's great. You should get one for your Haynes sponsored 911S. Single din fitments. It's
Yes.
glorious.
Yes.
Do they have a Haynes BMW manual?
That's super cool. So
Yeah.
that picture with it being medium fucked was back in May.
That's back
Where
in
are we
May,
at
yeah.
now?
So we're
6 months later.
So 6 months later, I haven't done an update since I've brought it back from SEMA, but we have the most recent one is episode 3, and that's when we put the tires on it and we get it running.
Forgive me, I wasn't at SEMA. What was the state of it at SEMA?
The state of it was, I cleaned it up for the first time in like 20 years.
And you brought it in original, just washed, but that's it, condition.
That's exactly right. And
Does it run?
Well, we got it running. We got it running under its own idle for about 20 seconds at the end of episode 3.
Uh-huh.
And that's about the closest we've been able to get it.
That's pretty good if
Yeah.
it was a Lambo Espada.
When was it last ran when parked?
So it was last driven by me when I was 15 years old, and the statute
Whoa.
of limitations is passed on that, so I can say that.
So 2001 or 2.
Yeah.
So it's been sitting for 15 years.
It sat in that garage for 15 years gathering dust, and it took, and the tires went flat on it. They couldn't hold air anymore.
I now understand why your mom isn't more upset that the Mustang's sitting in the driveway, because this car sat in the garage and didn't do shit for 15 years, and they were
exactly.
like, that's fine.
Did you put the Mustang in the garage when you got this
Nah, it's still empty.
It's a convertible. It's gotta be outside.
Were they like dancing on the floor once you got the thing? I was like, it's so spacious in here.
Well, yeah, and we got a 56 Ford F100 sitting next to where
Oh
the
my
Porsche
God.
was. So yeah, it's just a crazy mess over there. But so with a Pontiac GTO engine in it. So yeah, it's
Awesome.
yeah. But so we're getting slowly but surely, and I ready to get episode 4 up soon. But
So it's an S. That makes it a 3-liter?
it's a 2.7.
Oh, SC was 3-liter.
SC was 3 liters. So
Okay,
this is
yeah,
the
so
last
it's a
year of the
2.7.
S. Yeah, so it was thermal reactors. It was a non-catalyst.
Nice.
So you could put leaded gasoline in it still if you wanted to, and but yeah. So
That's exciting. How's the interior?
the interior's okay. The back seats are flawless. The front seats are split at the seams, but the leather quality's okay. But it's not bad. I mean, it's actually once you clean it up, it's quite it's acceptable, I guess.
So to what degree is Haynes restoring this?
So so we have just found a shop called TLG Auto that wants to do the.
Wait, I think I know them. What's
Yeah,
the guy's name?
I'm blanking at the moment, but we're trying to figure out a way to get him in with Renless as well as
They're here,
doing
right?
Yeah, they're in North Hollywood.
Yo, I just
Yeah.
drove that dude's cars. I just drove his cars. He's got a 914.6 white, and he's got a 75 Carrera with a big single turbo on it. I definitely
Tony and Louis Gerace?
Yeah, yeah.
Or Gerace? Or
Yeah, exactly.
Is that them? I feel like that's them.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to figure out things with them
I
to
hope
get
I
them.
didn't get that wrong, but I feel like I just drove their cars.
Guy looks like Steven Spielberg.
Marco. Yeah, Marco.
Yeah, Marco.
Yeah, Marco's cars. Yeah. Oh, dude, that guy's cars were dope.
So he wants to do the labor for pulling the engine,
Great.
and then we got a guy named Neil Harvey out of Costa Mesa, California, who runs a company called Performance Developments. And this guy used to work for Bernie Ecclestone and Gordon Murray, like back in the early '80s F1 days.
Not a
He was-
lightweight.
Yeah, so he used to work on the F1 teams, like helping them, like overseeing the engineering and stuff. And then he started his shop in '90, and now he does a lot of Porsche, like down to the bare metal type restoration. So
Cool.
he's agreed to actually get the motor work done, and then but he only takes the motors on crates and he puts them back restored on crates.
Yeah.
So we need somebody like
Don't
Marco
bring
to-
him your car.
Yeah, don't bring him your car.
What about
Yeah.
Rust?
So Rust is fine because it's a California car. It was garage kept the majority of its life.
So the paint look. I mean, I'm sitting 8 feet from a monitor. That
Yeah.
paint that's all trashed on that right front fender there. There's no rust under that. It's just nasty paint.
There is rust on that fender only because my dad. So my mom got in a fender bender back in like '81, and my dad was as vigilant as he could about getting original equipment parts replaced for that vehicle. But the shop that he took it to, they didn't. They ended up putting an aftermarket fender on that vehicle and using subpar paint. So that ended
that's
up,
the interior?
That's the interior. So
The dash looks pretty good. The dash isn't like split, right?
there's no. Well, I just realized in the build itself that there's like a dime size split coming off of the passenger side
I might have a deal for you, my friend.
defogger vent. So yeah.
I might have a deal for you. I am getting buckets for my 911 from Lee Keen, and my power sports seats from my 87 Carrera are mint.
They're really nice.
They're the wrong color.
Oh,
So you'd have to have them recovered.
okay.
But they are mint.
Okay.
And they're power. So if you are interested, I can hook you up.
I will
They're
consider
super
that.
comfortable too.
Yeah.
And they are extremely comfortable. I'm almost second guessing taking them out because they're super comfortable.
Yeah.
But I've sat in the other seats too, and they're sweet too. But if we could talk about that later.
Good
but,
to know. Good to know.
But
Your steering wheel horn button looks like a Power Ranger crest. That was amazing.
yeah.
wait, what?
Did you see? Go back to the interior. The
That-
horn button.
Both your steering wheel and my steering wheel, which is the 4 across. I fucking hate
The
so
4
much.
across
These
is
are the
worse,
worst
but
era
this
of
is pretty-
Porsche steering wheel. Do you like that steering wheel?
It's what I grew up with. I was, at 3 years old, I'd go into the garage every day and draw the dashboard of that
Yeah.
car. So it's just part of my upbringing. So I can't hate on it. It's not my DNA to hate that steering wheel, even though
feel
I
you.
understand the hatred.
I feel you. Mine is worse. I think mine's worse. The horizontal.
I like yours
bar,
less. Yeah.
Less attractive.
Fucking
Because I think
heinous.
there's a lot of really basic cars had that kind of 4-spoke thing. I think Volvos did, like Taurus. It was just
Yeah.
like we need structural support for an airbag. How do we do that? Like
Yeah.
this. Send it out.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to take it off.
No,
Yeah,
my
real
Fox
lazy.
body has the very
Oh,
square
yours has the
airbag.
pillow?
Yeah, the
oh
pillow.
shit.
The E36 had that 4-spoke thing too. No good.
Someone just said something about that of some funny comment on Matt D'Andrea post. Do you see what D'Andrea did with his Cobra? You know Matt D'Andrea?
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it done?
So he's building this 93 Cobra, and he, I guess, wanted to keep it kind of original. He's Motorator on Instagram,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can you pull up Motorator on Instagram?
Motorator.
Motorator. He did that ugly airbag steering wheel, but then he suede wrapped the rim. Just
No
scroll
way.
down a little bit, Timmy. And it was a couple days ago. There it is, right in the middle there. And so he
no way.
suede wrapped, and it was a little controversial.
I kind of like it.
I mean,
It draws the eye away from the square. But
I think it's heinous.
the square is still. It's so. Look
I
how
told him.
big the square is.
Like the wheel, there's nothing you can do with it. There's nothing you can do to make that wheel look even acceptable.
No.
I know I'm horrible by saying this, but I love that square.
You got a problem, my friend.
It's because
Well,
I'm that era of kid.
Your
They just-
sentimentality outweighs your taste.
What year
Exactly.
were you born?
I was born in '85.
I was born in '82. You're not that kid from that era.
Yeah, but-
you're just a hipster who got brought home in a vintage 911, and now you're just like, no, man, the throwbacks are great. No, some throwbacks suck.
Yeah.
You probably like mom jeans and whack it to that.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, fucking
No, but
mom jeans.
to dig the hole even deeper, C4 Corvettes are my favorite Corvettes of all time. Just
I mean, look, I had
Hoard 'em.
my vices.
Buy 'em
man.
all.
I thought the
Take 'em.
Geostorm was awesome when I was 6 years
Oh,
old.
dude, Isuzu Impulse, Chevy Beretta, all that era of
Amigo?
weird 80s
Yeah.
shit, dude. I just saw Beretta the other day. It still looked kind of hot, actually.
it's a handsome car.
It was a
It's
handsome car.
That bright green color was kind of dope too.
Oh, yeah, from the
Remember that?
teal, the
Yeah,
90s
yeah,
teal
yeah,
Beretta.
exactly.
Do you remember, the story with Beretta and the guns?
No.
The Chevy Beretta and the guns? Super quick. So the Chevy Beretta, when it came out, there's that color, top left.
Oh
yeah.
God! And that was on C4s too, and I love that color on a Corvette.
It's kind of seafoam.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the most 90s color ever.
Oh, look at the graphics.
Oh my God!
Indie.
That's hella
And,
Radwood.
that
so
it?
when the Beretta came out, the Beretta Firearms Company in Italy, which had been making guns for fucking 150 years, was a little pissed. No one at GM bothered to call and ask. And I'm not sure what the trademark. I'm sure that Beretta has a trademark on Beretta to sell guns in the U.S. under that name, which I'm sure GM violated by selling the car called the Beretta. There was a lawsuit. They were settled out of court. And the only reason it matters at this point is because if you go to Italy where they make the guns, you go to the Beretta Museum, you can get the tour, and there are 2 0-mile Chevy Berettas sitting at the factory that were donated as an act of good faith by GM.
cool.
And my dad went to the factory and sent me a picture of the fucking Beretta. It was hilarious because it's like $200,000 gun, $200,000 gun, 1986 Chevy Beretta.
I feel like a GM employee listening to this going, wait, didn't we send 3 cars and there's one in the back that's just shot full of holes? 92 FS is just laying out there. It's like, if you're in a bad mood in the morning, stop by and take care of the Beretta.
By the Beretta range.
So I guess that's why it became the Corsica eventually.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
didn't it become the Corsica was a 2-door Lumina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
Just
or was the
Beretta.
Corsica pre-Beretta?
no, it was after because my like 15 years ago, my brother's girlfriend drove a Corsica, and it was like a '92.
Oh yeah, the Corsica. No, the Corsica was the 4-door.
Oh, was it?
That's
Okay.
why the
Oh,
Corsica
okay.
was the 4-door. No, the Beretta ran its course.
Okay,
There
okay.
was a shit. What was it was a Lumina Euro Z30. Give me a Lumina Euro Z34.
I like those.
Which I'm gonna sound so white here as I do once in a while. My tennis instructor drove. There it was. That one. Yeah, that's the one right there. When I was 14. My tennis instructor touched me in aluminum. No, he would pick me up and take me to tennis. I actually thought this car was cool as fuck.
That does not look that different than the Monte Carlo SS that they made in like what 2001.
But this had the 4-cam motor. Remember that dude Steven put in a Fiero?
Yeah.
This is like a V6 4-cam. I think it made 275 horsepower.
That's
it was
very
actually
strong.
like a hot little bitch of a 6.
Well, that's probably better than the SS that they made later.
Yeah,
Because that was a terrible car.
Yeah. It was definitely
pretty
better
fun.
than the front-wheel drive Monte Carlos
Yeah.
that came afterwards.
200 horse out of the 3.4 V6.
Oh, maybe that wasn't it.
I mean, if you wanted
what
them.
was the one that had
If you
the
modded it.
hot V6 in it?
Probably got
Monte
cool in
Carlos
Europe.
had a variant of the GNX motor, didn't they? Didn't they like a very limited run?
No. Well, no.
They
Or
V8
Grand-
when they were awesome.
No. There was Grand Nationals, obviously, and
Yeah, but not GNX,
T-types, but no, there was never a Monte Carlo with the turbo motor. I'm thinking
No.
of. There was a 4-cam motor in the 80s from GM, and what was it in? I thought it was in the Lumina Euro,
Well,
but
aside from ZR1 LT5, but
maybe no, it was a V6. GM 4-cam V6. You got anything over there, Tim? I don't know.
So based on what 3800?
Nah, yeah, I think. 3,800 base 4-cams. Ah, fuck me. Someone, I don't know. Someone's screaming at their iPod right now.
Yeah.
You motherfucker! It's probably Steven who's got
It was in the
Fiero.
Safari.
Fucking hell. Oh man.
Saw
It
Previa the other day. Just random side tangent. Great car.
Did it make you feel happy inside?
Yeah, I felt nostalgic.
The
Anyway,
what are we at? What are we at right now? Where were we?
49.
Wherever-
Where we at or what
wherever
are
we
we at?
I feel like it's break time. I feel like you need to reset and find this fucking engine.
and then swap it into something.
It's gonna bother me like a Fiero. Everyone's just staring at the screen now.
We're all
This
just
is the
watching.
end.
We're watching Wikipedia.
Yeah.
This is what happens watching
when the show
Wikipedia.
ends.
That's how I know it's break time. We'll be right back in just a minute. All right, we back. We back. Zach found the engine.
I did.
LQ1.
LQ1, used in the Chevy Lumina Z34, Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, Pontiac Grand Prix, Chevy Monte Carlo Z34, and Lumina LS.
And it's 4-cam narrow
Four-
angle V6.
Yeah, 4-cam, 60-degree V6, 3.4 liters.
How much power? Does that?
Ranged from 2 to 210, and
God, I could have sworn it was more.
but when in 1996, 97, it went up to like 215. Nothing huge.
I thought that Steven kid had it up to like 275 or 280. But maybe there's stuff you can do. I mean, maybe he was running no
Yeah.
cats or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Who knows? Anyway, we're back. That's the motor. It exists. You're welcome, people. Thank you.
We're out here doing God's work.
God's work. God wants you to roll. Where were we just about to go? Oh, announcement. I fixed something. I fixed this. We
This is
haven't
very
hung out
rare.
a lot. Me fixing a thing, that shit doesn't happen. So I was able to correctly. So my Porsche did not start. Wah wah. Car put 1,000 miles on it. It was great. Turn the key. Start cranking. No fire. So I was like, uh-oh. Googled around a bit. Apparently, a very common issue with this car is something called a DME relay, which is a fuel pump relay. Basically, it's under the seat, and it poos out sometimes. So I looked it up. That seemed like a possibility. Called Mr. Lee Keen, who said, "Here's what you do if you want to find out if your DME relay is bad. You whack it with a hammer, and if
No way.
and if the car starts, that's the problem." So I whacked it with a hammer. The fucking car started. So I ordered up 2 DME relays. Apparently, the forums, whatever the Porsche forum I looked at, I don't remember. If it was
hopefully
Pel-
Renless.
Yeah, Renlist. I looked at Renlist. I looked up on Renlist, and it was lots of advice on Renlist, and they said that if you have one of these cars, 84 to 89 Carrera, that you should carry an extra in your car at all times because
Wow.
they have a habit of this parts taste
And you
bad.
just unscrew it, snap in the wire.
Dude,
fine.
you just stick your hand under the fucking seat and you can unplug it, and you just yeah. Other
Nice.
than the fact that my car, you know how my garage is, it was in the front left spot, so I had to do a lot of fat guy in a little car. But, like, if your car was not parked against a wall, it would be no big deal at all. Like, I made it a lot harder on myself. But
that's a very
fixed it, started right up, done, boom. Fixed the thing.
Hell yeah.
Alternatively, you could just carry a hammer.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the thing will die while the car's running or if it just won't start. You know what I mean? So, like, I wouldn't want to, like, whack it, have it start, and then, like, continue driving for too long. But if you had to get home,
is its function, is it sending power to the starter? So once it's running, you don't need it?
No, to the fuel pump.
Oh, right.
It's a relay for the fuel pump.
Yeah, and
like
DME is digital engine management, basically. So, I wouldn't...
You want that.
It has, like, very early, shitty engine management.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get the Steve Wong chip, which is an actual fucking chip.
It replaces that.
Yeah, that replaces it. But there's a guy named Steve Wong who is going to come down and program it himself.
Oh.
Yeah, which is the thing that BBI does.
Mine actually has. My dad got some kind of tuning
Yours
kit.
is carbs, right?
Well, no, it's a mechanical fuel injection.
Okay.
It's like a distributor style fuel injection.
Uh-huh.
But there's some kind of electrical unit that my dad put into the car, and
like
somehow
an MSD box kind of thing.
Something like that, yeah. And it's like this is from Porsche specialty tuning in blah 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 California, yeah. And that was like the earliest form, apparently so, because he put headers on it. And he put that thing, and so it was a little bit faster than stock.
I mean, I imagine you have to pull the motor completely out of that car, right? Well, yeah, you're sending it to the
I
guy.
do.
Yeah. The whole motor
exactly.
is, like, it's got to be completely rebuilt, obviously.
Yeah, so then once we get that done, then Borla actually wants to create a whole custom line of exhaust systems based off of that car.
Oh, that would be lovely.
So, yeah, so that's really exciting.
Borla's exhausts tend to sound pretty good, although I still have a little bit of beef with them from SEMA.
Why? What'd you do?
Well, at SEMA, we were podcasting, sponsored by MagnaFlow. We were in MagnaFlow's booth, and we had a podcast studio set up. Well, Borla was right next door. Borla had an endless loop video, as you do, of exhaust clips. And now, I've heard many Borla exhausts, some of which sounded great, others sounded whatever. But the ones that were chosen for this montage were easily the worst sounding Borla exhausts I've ever heard. Like the shitty EcoBoost V6s, like the 2.7 exhaust, like that sounds like garbage. And they're playing it loud as fuck. And the volume seemed to go up when we started recording shows. And with Hayes, Chris Hayes being as he is, being in charge, there was a bit of a contention, little friction between, little passive aggression, between him and the people at Borla, and there was like a beef that was like happening. It was weird. There was a beef that was going on.
Good times.
I'm just saying, like
an Anchorman show off just happens like in the alley.
Like some of their products, like their RS Focus RS exhaust sounds gangster as fuck, but some of their, I mean, it's not that their exhaust sounds particularly bad, but whoever shot the video recordings of these exhausts, it didn't put them in their best light, and they were blasting them.
Interesting approach. I mean, they do work like in the audio business sort of, but it seems people are gonna walk by your booth no matter what.
I mean, you know, I can't hate on an exhaust company for playing exhaust videos at their booth, but it seemed to always go on while we were podcasting.
Wow. I fixed the thing. Well, remember I backed up off that parking block and it yanked off half my bumper, which was great, and I crawled under there to look at it before I went driving to Palm Springs. But not before I went drifting, because I'm smart. I was like, it'll be fine. It ripped out, like, all the fender liner holes were popped out. All the little weird shims that are threaded behind it where the screws, go into were popped out. It bent the plastic under tray of my front fascia. It bent it down to, like, a point. I mean, we've all seen those cars, like, in the parking lot where it's like, whoa, it does some serious work. So I was able to get it put back in place, and then enough of those holes, like, held together, but those things suck, man. Just like that rebar that sticks up can do so much damage.
It's the worst, dude. Imagine you drove over that rebar at 60.
Oh, forget it. Even just being under there and looking at how my car is put together, the fact that people have taken those up to like 180 miles an hour, and all new cars, there's plastic shims here, and there's little screws that pop in rivets there, and there's like a water, your windshield wiper like bottle is probably tucked down behind your bumper. Like, it's all held together by a lot of hopes and dreams. There's a lot of faith in the engineering that goes into that. I don't know. It feels a little flimsy.
Oh yeah, Yeah.
A little nervous.
You ever been on a racetrack in a C4 Corvette, my friend? Talk about hopes and
Well,
dreams.
when you went on the Daily
Shady
Transmission, you guys were talking about your favorite YouTube video, and it was that guy in the 240. I'd never seen that video before.
Me neither.
And they cut to
you
it.
never seen it?
I'd never
No.
seen it.
Oh,
And everything
you think
flies
we'll
away.
You think we'll probably get flagged if we play it, right? Can we play it from somewhere? Okay, here. Get it off of Daily Motion, bro.
Well,
Get it off of not YouTube.
Well, it's only like 5 or like 20 seconds. It's
I don't know.
real
we
short.
might. Sometimes we get flagged.
Oh, really?
Well, it's like 240 drift car falls apart.
Yeah,
It's
yellow
what to look
240
for.
drift car.
It's
falls
one of those
apart.
videos where everybody's heard about it except me until you shared it like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Oh,
it was.
have you not? You didn't see it either
Until 2 weeks ago,
Oh
yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
it's just.
It's that top one.
It's just. It's so.
That's YouTube though.
Oh. Yeah, we gotta find on some daily. I don't want to get flagged. Actually, I don't give a fuck. Just play it on YouTube. We'll get flagged, and they'll have to give this fucking guy the revenue. But who cares?
I mean,
It's worth it. It's worth it for the joke. I mean, it's so good.
Is that what we
Oh,
want to watch?
it's a GIF or a video.
Oh,
It's like a slideshow now.
someone made
it's
it
a
a
slideshow.
slideshow.
That won't flag
That's
you.
not good.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
The point is, a guy
Do you wanna play it?
initiates a drift, and the initiating of the drift, the initiating of the drift. Here it is. Yeah, pull this up
Yeah, we can turn the volume down slightly.
and probably full screen it. But the the drift initiation causes his entire car to fall apart.
I've never seen anything like this before.
It's just so.
I'll wait
Yeah, bro, that just happened.
Obviously, he is angry. So.
Yeah. Dude, that was
Epithets.
He looks way too surprised for what happened because the front bumper flew off, the rear bumper flew off, one of the wheels came off, and the other wheel was gonna come off, but the car came to a stop. Like there are so much mismanaged maintenance happening there.
I feel like the rear wheel getting ripped off the hub that was the issue. Like he hit that handbrake and just the whole rear
The wheel
right
took
side
the bumper.
took it all off.
Yeah, it looks like the car got
And
bombed.
It took
yeah.
everything out with it.
It came off though so quickly. Lug nuts had to have been missing. Like they must probably, I mean, it would probably happen. Like tire change, something.
Yeah.
Everything just seemed too loose.
Someone did not do the second half of their lug nut tightening.
No, and then the front bumper comes. Like it all comes off. Look, he's just initiating, and the front bumper is already saying, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, like so many parts come off the car at once.
We got front rear valence, tires already rolling. The trunk is open now, by the way, and the left rear tire now has 15 degrees of camber.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a huge error in track prep.
That's-
Got to watch
yeah.
a how-to track prep.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's what not to do.
that's what not to do.
Yeah.
I do a lot of faith driving. A lot of not checking certain things. Occasionally, I find there's a video coming out where I drove. Yeah, I'll throw him under the bus. I drove this Corolla that was like a 95 Corolla, like from when the Corolla first went from the little box to being round. And it had like a black top in it, like a 4AG, like 9,000 RPM, like monster engine. And the tires, as I found out later, were like date coded from 2005 or something. They were so old.
Could
these
you
tires.
feel it?
Not only could I
Slipping.
feel it while the owner of the car spun out while doing
Oh,
drive-by
I remember
shots.
that.
It was that one.
Wow.
So was this a worse experience than that time you drove that janky Trans Am? That
No, the Camaro was
The
the
Camaro.
worst.
Oh,
The
okay.
Camaro was the worst.
Okay.
No, there was something called a Crowworks, which is that thing I drove at Road Atlanta. That was probably the worst.
Really? Worse than the Camaro with 3 brakes?
I don't know. I got hit with so many rocks in the face. That's really.
I guess the Camaro had the potential to be worse if it had gone off the rock upon
Yeah,
which
like
you
I
were
didn't
driving.
actually crash it. I just
Right.
had to deal with some poor dynamics for a few minutes and got mad. Mm-hmm. I was going like 20. It wasn't like being on Road Atlanta at an open track day with no bodywork or windshield.
My friend in high school bought like a 71 Cuda, and not a good one, and this was before they were worth lots of money. And he picks me up to take me for a ride, and we go across this street, and he floors it And it's like, oh wow, this thing, and it had a built motor and like full length headers on it, and it starts going, and then he jumps on the brakes because some people are crossing the street, and he finds out it has no brakes, and it came to a stop like 6 feet from these people, and he was full to the wood. He's bending the seat back and everything. And that was a lot of faith driving. Back high school had tons of it. I mean, muscle cars have a lot of faith driving in general.
I remember which of those weird modified 80s and 90s supercars I drove in Texas. I ran out of brakes and almost went off the end of the track in. I can't remember if it was the Turbo 308 or the Callaway Corvette, or I don't know. One of them had 80s brakes, and they are gone
gets
after
interesting
lap
real quick.
2.5. Yeah.
What else? My Miata was faith driving most of the time, and then my Civic before that was cutting the exhaust in half because the exhaust broke before the bumper, and so it was just slowly tilting upward, and the heat from the exhaust was just cutting like an arc welder, like a plasma cutter up through the bumper. And I drove like that for like a year.
You know, I ran the entire spectrum my senior year of high school because the first half of senior year, my dad had just retired, so he wasn't driving his brand new C5 Corvette to work every day, and he was crazy. He was like, okay, I'll let my 18-year-old or no, still 17-year-old son drive it to high school every day because I'm nuts. So yeah, I won senior best car that year because the first semester of senior year I was driving that car to school every day. And then he started to have to take it to, like radiation treatments. So there was like a little bit of a prostate scare. So for preventive maintenance, he had to go and take it in the mornings to get his stuff done. And
He's like, well, someone should have sex in this car. So
But right at that time, my brother gave me his Fox body. And so I went from this brand new $60,000 perfect Corvette to driving this janky-ass, cluttering convertible top. You're not even going to be sure if you can get it in the third gear. You're not going to be sure.
Driving a Fox body is a matter of attitude.
Yeah.
It's you. You are a Fox body. You know what I mean? You have to, like, really own the shitbox nature of the Fox body.
Yeah.
And really sell its endearing qualities to people.
That's hot
I was
rodding.
super good at selling those qualities in high school. When I had Mustangs in high school, too. I'd sit outside my girlfriend's school. Like, we got out 15 minutes earlier than they did. So I'd drive over there and sit in front of this Catholic school. You get talking tos and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Now my fiancée fucking won't even ride in my Mustang.
She won't?
I mean, she doesn't. She will, but she doesn't like it.
It's not. It's a little uncouth.
She thinks it looks cool. She really likes the idea of it. She likes that I have it, and she likes it makes me happy. But she prefers not to ride in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a cultured woman who's like, I'm past that phase. I don't need the.
No, it's more just like the lack of climate control and the harnesses.
I didn't mean that she's snobby. I meant that she
yeah.
has like probably lived in uncomfortable apartments in her 20s and stuff, and now she's like, yeah, I don't need to live in no air conditioning.
She is a 40-year-old woman from fucking Long Island. She's seen her share of Fox body.
Yeah.
She grew up in
F-body Camaro
she grew
land.
up right next to Jones Beach, which is like Ocean Park. Are you from West Coast or East Coast?
Yeah, SoCal.
Have you hung out on the East Coast much?
A little bit, yeah.
You ever been out on Long Island?
Like Rockaway Beach and all that.
Yeah, you've been down there, Jones
Yeah,
Beach,
yeah,
right?
mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
where she grew up,
Yeah.
like Hurricane Sandy, Ground Zero shit. But excuse me, on the other side of that same strip of land where her house is Ocean Parkway, which is the street racing center of Long Island and always has been and always will be, because it's 16 miles long and dead fucking straight. Now I haven't been down there in a while. The last I went, it was the government of Long Island's or government of whatever, state of New York's idea to curb the speeding on there was to just let the tarmac go to complete dog shit, which is perfectly effective. I mean, if there's
Yikes.
potholes and
Doesn't work in
bumps all
LA
over-
though.
No, this one. If you go, like, if you were to, the last time I was out there, and they may have fixed it, but the last time I was out there, like, if you were to crack 100 on Ocean Parkway, you would fly your car through the air.
Whoa.
Like, it's not potholes. It's like, they do big concrete slabs out there like we do here, but they never like fix them. So it just like It's like, you know.
Wait, did we
going-
drive there in the Chevy 2500 back when we did the East Coast trip?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it was
the
yeah.
AutoZam. Remember the AutoZam we did out there?
It was like a seesaw the
yeah,
whole time.
yeah.
It was
It's like
ridiculous.
when you see a tree with roots that grow underneath the sidewalk slabs, and
Yeah.
the sidewalk slabs. It's like that.
It's like an Excite bike
Yeah.
track. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
but you could go 200 miles an hour there in like the early 2000s. You can go 200 miles an hour there in anything that would go 200 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Or
Now-
today, though, you could recreate Death Race 2000 or something on those really sketchy ass roads and then create some kind of event over it.
You fucking could. Well, I would. You know, if I ever take the safari car up there, I could probably do 100 miles an hour in a rally car on it. You know,
Yeah,
that
that'd be
good for
cool.
Raptors. Like Raptors could fly down that.
You could street race
Yeah.
someone with anything lowered and
Yeah.
win. Yikes.
Well,
That's so
well,
funny.
speaking of that, I don't know. This is like a listener question from myself, though. When do you plan on having your car completed? I'm just wondering what your timeline is.
For the safari car?
Yeah.
So it goes to Batim, the BBI, the first week in January.
Okay.
And he's going to do that Steve Wong dyno, which is a dyno tune, headers, exhaust, which apparently we're either going to use the exhaust that Lee currently uses on all of the safari cars, which I can't remember the name of, but it's a fairly common exhaust. But Tim wants to use the center section from a 991 GT3, which he says sounds really cool, but we'd have to powder coat it black to look a little more period. But apparently it sounds pretty cool. So, and then we're gonna do lightweight flywheel, lightweight and clutch combo. That's really it. There's not a
Cool.
whole lot to it beyond that.
Are you going to show it at SEMA next year, or?
Well, so after that, it goes to Lee, and the idea is that hopefully it's done before Pebble Beach,
Oh, okay, nice.
which is a reasonable expectation,
Yeah.
especially because we're not actually going to end up changing the color.
Okay.
So, which means we don't have to pull out the motor, and we don't have to do that.
It saves
Sweet
so
color.
much time.
Saves a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's really about the interior is going to be done all crazy and funky, and that's really it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be about 6 or 8 months, but I'm going to drive it until January. I'm going to drive it as much as I can until January. With the exception of that relay, the thing is, I just broke 1,000 miles, and I had to add a quart of oil. I burned a quart. It doesn't leak a drop,
Oh, wow.
but it burned a quart in 1,000 miles. So
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I added that, and
What's the slower process over there? Is it the interior side of it or the safari modifications like lifting and
No,
lights
the
and stuff?
suspension and stuff is all easy. The suspension, the wheels, and all that's easy. I think it's like the painting, the finish, like because they have to install the new front and rear bumper and the light pod and paint that stuff. We're keeping the whale tail, so that's an easy one. And then the seats we're gonna pre-trim. And we changed the door cards. You don't use the existing door
Okay.
cards, so they pre-match the leather and pre-do the door cards. So shouldn't be too
Might
bad.
be
I
quick.
think trimming the entire, because we have to recarpet it as well.
But
The
why are you
carpet-
doing all that?
The interior?
Yeah.
Because the part of the safari build is that the interior, bless you, is that the interior, like, we make it real crazy.
Oh, okay.
So the interior of my car is actually beautiful. That's almost a shame to take it apart. But me and Lee both really like fun, crazy fabrics, and all the safari cars have sort of Pasha-esque, really wild fabrics.
Yeah, with
And
cool
so-
cool fabric, and it's plaid or it's like psychedelic colored or whatever the owner picks. But they do a really good job of like inlaying that in the dash sometimes around the bezels. Like it's really cool.
The
It gets
Beazles.
integrated very well.
Bezels.
Into,
Bezels.
He says
Yeah,
Beazle,
yeah,
which is
Bezels.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It gets integrated really well into the car. So I mean, and we're deleting the rear seat as well.
Okay.
It's just we don't need that shit.
Yeah.
And he puts a roll bar in it too, but that's whatever. It's not that intensive a process. I think making decisions actually is what takes longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go back and forth, make sure you do it right.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, buy it, wait, lying awake that
Yeah.
at night. Like, did I do the
I may
right
have
color?
to go to Atlanta a couple times.
Go check on stuff.
Well, I certainly want to go to Atlanta to get fitted for the seat being at the right angle and all that kind of stuff. And then I want to look at swatches in person. And there's this dude in Scotland who's a fan who has a tartan company, like straight up a tartan like weaving company in Scotland, and wants to like make a custom tartan. which sounds like a great idea. He's coming on a little hot though. He's coming on a little strong.
Wait, make you a custom weave with colors you want, or
Yeah, like that plaid that Tim is wearing, or the plaid that, like, imagine I got to design every aspect of this plaid like that.
That could be a long.
Honestly,
process.
it's a little more than I even want to deal with. Imagine like how many decisions there are. Like you
That can
you
be
want to
kinda
have
fun.
control until you find out what control fucking means.
Yeah.
Like, God, when it comes to, you ever like take part in renovating a house, like when you have to look at every doorknob and faucet and you just go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Because with tartan, you could do how many colors, what spacing this way, now X and Y axis.
Fuck yeah.
I guess I'm looking there because my whole intent is just bring it back to showroom stock.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, growing up, all my life this car has been a piece of shit, and I was 5 years old, going from cover to cover of every performance products magazine catalog to upgrade or get that Porsche back to how it should have been. And so seeing regular Porsches where normal people would take care of them actually like they were supposed to do, and then seeing mine, like, why can't we be like the regular people? Why did we have to let ours become a piece of shit? And it's the big grievance. Like, yes, this is a tribute to my dead father, sure. But it's also airing out the grievances I had with him because my dad didn't give a fuck, whereas I do.
Yeah, but how about this? Did the Porsche serve his happiness?
Yes, it did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course it did. Yeah.
So, like, the older I get, the more I think about, like, is the car or is the thing or whatever the item is, like, is that serving my happiness or is it another thing I need to take care of that becomes work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that car, I bet you, did he drive it right up until he died? Is that when he,
No,
is that
no,
when it got
he-
parked,
well,
or did it get parked for another reason?
No, the way he
Clutch
operated was...
cable?
Well, the headlight went out 12 years later.
No, I mean, he would, the car got old, and then he started getting interested in Corvettes. And like, all right, I'll buy brand new Corvettes now.
Porsche never loses anybody to Corvettes. That's a weird.
The first cross
usually
shop.
they go the other way.
Yeah, no,
Usually the Corvette people get tired of the build quality and jump to Porsches. He went the other way. Huh?
he went the other way because when my brother bought his Mustang, my parents were adamant about, like, don't be drinking and driving in that car. And then 2 weeks into the ownership of that car, my dad discovers a beer can stuck underneath one of the seats. Like, one of my brother's friends was
It's like out of a movie.
like,
I
was
didn't
driving,
think people did
was
that.
drinking
I
a
didn't
beer while my
think
brother's
anyone
driving.
ever did that either. And
Yeah.
yet
But I saw a
you see it on
pickup
cops
truck.
all the time.
This is back
I
in
saw a
91,
pickup truck last week that had about 20 to 22 beer cans in the back of the bed. I was
the
like,
bed?
that's a real
That's
thing.
the move, right? You
Yeah,
out
yeah,
the window
yeah.
and the sky hook into the bed.
It was a different world back in 92. So my dad confiscated the car for 2 weeks, and it made him feel like a teenager again. And my dad always wanted a Corvette, but you couldn't get a manual Corvette back in the 70s when he could, when he was thinking about buying something to, for fun, everyday commuting.
Can't do a bump and shift at the same time, my friend.
So he bought the Porsche instead, and that satisfied him. And then, when he took over the Mustang for those 2 weeks, he was like, all right, I got to get this Corvette again.
So that's the 92 Corvette.
Yeah, so he had the
Yeah,
6-speed manual, and it was just he was living the dream, and then he traded that in 2000.
Did
Right.
he get some? He went to some, like, metal and vests, right?
Well, that's after he
Best.
got his, like, he didn't have a Harley for like 35 years, and then once he got into Harleys again in his later life, it got.
I always feel like Harleys will work because you're basically, it's almost like being able to buy, like, a brand new 57 Bel Air right now. You know what I mean? Like, if you could buy a brand new GTO, like, right now, that, like, had all the things about the old GTO, except
God.
it, like, worked most of the time, wouldn't you buy one of those?
Of
Like,
course.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's Harley.
that is.
Yeah. I
Old
can't
Harleys-
believe that Porsche lost one to Corvette, but I get it.
That's why I'm a little bit warped. But
Wow.
hey,
Technically, that's a midlife crisis. That sounds like a midlife crisis to me.
We started with a sports car and went to a different one, I guess.
well, my dad was 42 when he had me, so I was like almost like a midlife crisis baby.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too. My parents were 40. They were like, huh,
How old was your mom?
35.
Okay.
22.
I want to know.
That's why he had a Porsche and a Corvette. He's like, I managed 2 bowling alleys. I just feel like that's who would do that. And big
Yeah.
mustache.
Weird stuff going on in my childhood.
That's crazy. Well, so what's the timeline on your project?
So that was the plan, was, show it in its pre-redone state this year's SEMA. It got a great reaction. I was, talking to random people like, 77 911S brought me home from the hospital after I was born, restoring. It's actually here. Oh, wow, you're that guy? That's really cool, because it was refreshing because you had this basic car sitting at SEMA next to like the donked out or the lifted this.
Was it next to a donk?
No, it was next to like a weird ass Genesis, like that was gold, and they had to bring it in on regular tires and then put the aftermarket stuff on it
because it won't move.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, what's the point?
So dumb.
So it was like next to one of those and like a tricked out LC 500, and it was like in that row. But like people would just thought you'd see like anytime I'd go visit the car, it was amazing just seeing people taking photos of it and seeing how refreshed they were. Like the look in their eyes, like, oh wow, like something original, and like, oh, what's the story here?
That's a palate cleanser for SEMA.
Yeah,
you
it was
need to
really
look at
nice
something.
for the populace.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that was the intent for this year, and so next year we're going to show it off in its completely restored state.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That'll
That's
be
cool,
fun.
man.
yeah.
So nothing. So if it's for SEMA, nothing's gonna happen until October, and then everyone's gonna have a
panic.
heart attack when they work 100 hours a week for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you
to get it to
restoring the
SEMA.
fender at all, or are you doing only mechanicals and interior?
It was suggested by one of the people who's been inspired by this project that like you should just leave your fender all fucked up and leave it that as a signature. I don't know if I can go
Nah.
that far.
Nah.
That's not who I am.
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
not about that.
There's not enough fuck up on it. It's only one fender. If it was
Yeah,
like the
it's like,
whole
what's-
thing, you know. Because I saw a guy going surfing the other day in an old 911 with a board on the top.
Yeah.
And it was a little rusty, and he's gonna get salt water on it.
No,
Like
dude,
that's a thing.
you said
but-
the point is this car was always kind of a shitbox.
Yeah.
And the point is to unshitbox it.
Yeah.
So don't leave the fucking fender. Unshitbox it.
That's the plan.
Yeah, replace the fender with the correct fender. No one cares if a fender matches original or
Right,
not.
right,
and yeah, make it original.
Yeah.
That car that's a very pretty color combo. That thing will be sweet.
Yeah.
And by the way, when that thing's done, it's like not a low dollar car.
No,
It's like a
not at
pretty sweet dollar car.
Even though we're never
Cool.
going to sell, that's a family heirloom.
No, of
Right.
course,
Yeah,
but
you know,
still, I mean, look, if someone else is helping with that kind of a restoration, then financially you're out way ahead. And oh, by the way, the things you put in are tax deductible. In case
Exactly.
you're wondering.
Exactly.
In case you're
Cool, man.
wondering.
Yeah.
What do we got on Facebook? We had a few questiones. You want another water, dude? You good?
Another water. Yeah.
All right, someone asked, is the blue-collar sports car dying off? I asked because it seems like a lot of the cars considered to be cheap speed are either being discontinued or moving up market.
Well, two answers to that question. First off, the blue collar person is dying off. The rich are
True.
getting richer, and there are many, many toys to serve their needs, and the poor are not able to buy sports cars.
True.
And that's just my opinion.
Makes
but-
sense. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, automation technology, it is displacing the blue collared worker. So, yeah, the market's reflecting that.
Conversely, you have never gotten more car for your money at any price point at any point in history than right now. I mean, you can buy for 2018 a 450 horsepower Mustang for under 40, for $35,000.
True. And if you want to strip it down, you can get it for
Can you get it for even less?
Yeah,
I haven't.
30,
I
yeah.
don't want to make some false price claim. Whatever it is,
yeah.
the cheap speed is available in almost any corner that you desire it.
Yeah.
You
True.
want a hot hatch, you want a muscle car, you want a European something or other. Cheap speed is available all over the place.
And there's pretty cheap performance under 30 grand. You're just not going to get a ton of. I guess the ST, the Civics.
Miatas aren't slow.
Miatas are not.
I drove that
slow.
the Turbo Miata.
FRSs.
The Turbo Miata was a reasonable. We drove the Flying Miata kit, which was like $7,000 with a warranty. You get
That's not a cheap car overall though, because the Miata is not cheap. Like with enough options on it, like it's a pretty expensive
Yeah.
car.
That's true, but you need to get a ton of options. That soft top, a fairly you can get into $25,000, get you something solid. I don't know. We're talking about mid 30s, right? That's
Right.
what I consider blue collar. It's like what does
True,
mid
good point.
30s grand get you? That sounds like
That's
blue
true.
collar number to me, doesn't it? I guess.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I was going, and I'm going even lower. Like there's a lot of stuff there too. If you want to be really cheap.
and don't underestimate what you can get in the used market as well.
Oh,
I
the
mean,
used market's so good.
The used market's good right now, and I think even like stuff like 911s, I think there are a couple of rare examples that are bringing like huge dollars, but I think for the most part, like a lot of 911s, like people are realizing like, hold on a second, there's a bunch of these.
Yeah.
Not every single one of these is like a super special car.
Yeah,
So
30 grand will get you like a $15,000 M3 and all the repairs you could want.
Yeah. Your car needs a lot of attention, man.
I'm not surprised. Are any of us surprised?
No.
Sadly,
not at
no.
all.
Sadly, no. I think it's a crapshoot.
I really think I was thinking again about that E30 with the S54 swap. That's the jam.
That car was on. It just got something new installed. It was on. I don't know, one of the forums recently.
What, the one
Looks
I drove?
great. Yep.
Fucking car's fire.
Yeah.
So that
Real
was
good.
that's a great way to spend 20 grand right there.
Thing about that is, you still have the exact same engine I do. With you're gonna have the same problems. Like,
Are all your problems from your engine?
yep. The rest of it feels great.
Maybe just LS.
See, I agree. I totally agree. How much is the Porsche tax? Or sorry, how much of the Porsche tax is paying for quality, and how much is price gouging?
I'd say probably.
I'll add a third criteria too. How much of it is specialty equipment for a specific year or gap of years? Because I feel like German cars were constantly developing and still are. So they might have 3 years where you get this ignition system, and then they go, you know what, the better one is this.
Yeah.
And that changes for 3 years, and that changes for 3 years.
I'd say, but if you bunch everything together, I'd say the safe estimate is like 50%. Like you're paying 50% more because it's Porsche, but also the quality. There's
Are
quality.
we assuming
in that.
more than like Ford? Is that what we're talking about? More than what?
Yeah, like a fuel relay for your car versus a fuel relay for Ford. Or when you guys used to repair the Gotham cars, and the seat motor was a Bosch part.
some of that shit.
You know,
some of that stuff
it is
is
fuckery.
crazy. Yeah.
But you've paid for Motorcraft parts for your Fiesta. ST,
Yeah.
you know? So that's those are gouged as hell. I mean, I remember growing up with all the Fords we had growing up.
They gouged? I don't really.
I don't know. I just remember that if you got from the dealer and it was a Motorcraft part, it was a lot more expensive than an aftermarket.
Dealerships definitely.
Well,
have
are
it.
we talking about, if you're talking about that and you're talking about repairs? Sure. I think was the question referring to restore, or was the question referring to
think it's aimed at-
aftermarket upgrade?
I think it's aimed at parts. You know, if you need a steering box, and
Parts are expensive. Let's talk about Larry. You know Larry Casilla,
Yeah.
Taylor, his 964. Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he is not restoring. He's going motorsport level of parts with that, but some of the receipts I've seen for that car,
No kidding, man.
would give you a fucking heart attack.
I've heard numbers.
Oh, there it
It's
is.
a
Yeah, pull
great
it up.
looking car.
Yeah, I've heard some
I
numbers.
really actually think. That's from my shoot with him. Actually, pull that picture up. I really like these wheels. So I don't like the stock 16-inch flat face wheels that come with the 964s, but he had these made in 17s, and it looks a little cooler.
They look really good.
Yeah.
Whole car's really good. But didn't his exhaust was like.
His exhaust, I think, was $6,500.
That's a
Like
lot.
the crate engine in my car is $5,900 in my Mustang. You know what I mean? I'm hoping I don't have to find out what like ridiculously expensive parts cost for Porsche. Mine
goals.
seems to be in pretty decent shape, but like Larry, some of those receipts, I was like, oh my god, dude. What the fuck? Like,
Do you hear $6,500 of a difference all the time? Or like, what, could you get this exhaust for $2,000, but this is 65?
the thing is, that car is, especially with that car, like it's fire. You know what I mean? It's fire. But, and he's gonna listen to this. He's gonna be screaming at me. But like, ultimately, like that's $150,000 into a car that's worth 80, that drives kind of like something that's worth 50 or 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. Like, it's got these great JRZ shocks, and it's got, but it's got no heating or air conditioning. It's no
Yeah, I
climate
know.
control of any kind in the car, and ultimately you're talking about a car that is like all-wheel drive and makes like 310 horsepower.
Like an Evo.
At the wheels. Like, which is quick, and that's, it feels pretty good. It's a stout car. It's fun. You know what I mean? But like, so is that worth it? Like, I don't know.
It's all about who's driving it, and when if he smiles every time he turns the key and revs it, like, okay.
And by the way, he's had some sponsorship.
Of
I don't
course.
think he's not forked over 200
No, I
grand
know.
or whatever personally.
But speaking from like, I'm a big Cosilla fan. I've been watching him on YouTube for like 5 years now, and it's been amazing seeing the journey of this thing. And so it's really inspiring to somebody who's on a similar path, but the low budget route.
Yeah.
you
Did you
so
watch
it's-
his Rust video? That's where it
Yeah,
gets fucking
it was-
scary.
yeah, yeah.
Don't buy an East Coast car.
But going back 5 years when he bought this car and he inspected it to high heaven, and he was really good about showing you what you need to look for and everything. Still though, and it's like, so it's really
Shit can
scary.
happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he drove the car all winter in New York for a few years. It's that car's had a life. He's using
Yeah.
it. It has served him though.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
served his brand. It could be none more black.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
true.
most black car that there is ever.
Or as the
You're-
kids say, murdered out.
You're never gonna really drive for free with the way we drive. Like even
No.
if you had a brand new car that you leased. I just was talking to Corey Burns, and one of his friends has an M2, and he's gone through 3 e-diffs under warranty. And I was like, is he drifting? He's like, no, he's just driving it hard. It's not modified. It's like that's a brand new performance vehicle that they still have problems with in development, and you drive it really hard.
Three's
That's a lot.
bad.
I
Three's
mean,
a lot.
the Dyna one, Corey's like, it's fine. So maybe he got a shitty batch, but just
Yeah.
like my
Shitty
car has
three
problems.
batches.
Your project cars have problems. Even if you get a new car and you drive it hard, it's probably gonna
Well, there's
strain
Focus
under
RSs
duress.
blowing head gaskets all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine have not had the
You're
problem,
fine.
but mine was built during the time that like a bunch of them happened.
really.
Yeah, like April to June 16 build. Mine was a May 16 build, and that's when April to June 16 is when like most of these are happening.
So are you expecting that to happen, or you're just not
No,
you're surprised it hasn't?
I'm not. I'm not surprised it hasn't. I mean, it's like I think it was 5 or 8% of the cars built during that period, and then there was like 2% of the cars built afterwards. There's something with the head gasket. There's like I am the worst person at describing intricacies of this kind of shit, but it seemed to me like the portion of the head gasket that goes in between the cylinders, where it gets real narrow there, is not
It's the taint.
good. The taint portion of it, that's good, is a little narrow there and gets like blown out, like if you were to fucking squat in a pair of jeans, where
Right.
the taint gets blown out like that, and that's a kaboom head gasket problem.
Wow.
So they're I think so.
How many miles on yours?
10,000 and change. Now, I have not driven my car in 2.5 months because I was traveling a lot and it was sitting at Mountoon, where it still is sitting.
Okay.
We installed a prototype set of KW shocks, the adaptive coilovers to fix the ride, which it did. But the springs they sent are too low, and the car is now a little bit stance nation, even at its highest setting. And I kindly asked the folks at KW to send the correct height springs because I didn't want to drive a lowered car. And they agreed to, and then it would take a couple weeks. And then there was some kind of issue in quality control, and they had to make them again, which took another couple of weeks. Then I was traveling, and then the blah, 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 shipping from Germany, blah, 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 blah. And there's been some delays. So I don't think it's necessarily anybody's fault, unless it is, in which case, fuck you. But I'm excited. I'm excited, but I haven't driven it in a while.
It sounds like you miss it.
I do miss it,
Yeah.
but it's been an excuse to put miles on the 911, which I need to do anyway.
Okay, good.
But what else we got on Facebook? Anything?
Someone just wrote. They literally just wrote Tahoe or Expedition.
This is a good question. I like that. I haven't driven the Expedition yet. I've driven the Tahoe. I like the Tahoe. I can't say though.
I could say.
Okay.
I think I had the Tahoe, which I used to tow the Mustang to Vegas. I did 1,500 miles in a week in a press Tahoe, and then I just drove. Hannah's dad has an Expedition that's a year old, so I can't tell you the 18, but this is I believe it's a 16, and I drove it when Hannah and I got engaged. My grandmother, who's 100. We decided that we should probably drive from Long Beach to New Jersey to see her, so we took the Expedition. So I did 120 miles in an Expedition.
And if you'd driven the Tahoe, you would have made it in time. That's fucked up.
That's actually very funny. I like that. I can tell you this: the Tahoe was had a little more power from the regular V8. The EcoBoost was better if you like floored it, but in normal situations, the Tahoe felt better. The Tahoe was more comfortable.
Okay.
The Tahoe was more comfortable.
Didn't know we were allowed to compare previous generation because I'm going off the brand new.
Oh, is there
Expedition
brand new?
They just launched that, and I didn't get to
Did
drive
you-
that one.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
I haven't
no.
driven it either.
But I've spent plenty of time in the old one that's just presently old, and then the Tahoe. And yeah, Tahoe feels more car-like to me, even though it seems like they've invested more money into making the Expedition feel more car-like with more car-like rear suspension and stuff like that. Still, Tahoe just feels. I think that just a more back to basics approach with engineering the SUV makes it more flexible for kind of what you want to use it for. If you want it to be a car, it can be more of that. And if you want it to be a truck, it can be more of that.
I actually enjoyed my week with the Tahoe. And Hannah said I look like Tony Soprano. She said I look sexy in it. She did. She was about that. I put on that, like, woke up this morning, drove around smoking a cigar.
You're like, so can I get a mistress? And she's like, get the fuck out of this.
The Gourmand.
Gourmand,
you know?
that's where I was trying to
Give her
remember
a
it. The
skiff.
Because I do things with her I can't do with my wife.
What are you driving next? You got anything cool coming up?
I mean, just doing the LA Auto Show, going through that thing, and then my next
Radwood?
Radwood, going to that. I'm actually doing the LA Auto Show tours too. So
what?
The VIP media tours, they actually hand select like 4 people from the automotive media to do VIP tours.
Oh.
So yeah, that's a really cool thing that people.
Who are
like
the
to do.
VIPs? Like,
So like me and Jonathan Klein and Steve Seiler, and then usually a revolving cast of characters from like Car and Driver.
and who are you touring around?
Like people who pay like $100 to get early access to the auto show before it
Oh,
opens.
on press days?
No, actually on
Public day?
regular public days
Oh,
before
like
it
in the
opens.
morning?
In the
Like at,
morning.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's easy money.
We're walking.
Yeah,
We're walking.
we're walking.
And we're stopping.
Yeah.
New Kia Soul.
Yeah.
We're walking. We're walking.
Now, behind
Stopping.
these 15 old Lincolns, you'll see in the distance the new Lincoln.
Oh, man.
Remember that from a few years ago?
Yeah, where they brought out all. God, that was sad. The new Navigator looks kind of dope, though.
That is a
seen
nice
photos.
looking vehicle.
It's
yeah.
got the Continental seats in it. The Continental has the 31-way adjustable seats, I think, where each side of your ass has its own adjustment. Shit is dope.
One cheek can be higher than
You
the
could
other.
those seats
adjust
are
it
great.
for a Costanza-style
Yeah,
wallet
right,
if you wanted.
Yeah.
Pull up the interior up top
Yeah.
center, Tim. It's a nice looking vehicle.
Yeah.
What is that? It's not a gull wing.
Well, that was the concept that, yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna fly.
Yeah, totally. But no, usually my approach to this is if, I do crazy things with press cars throughout the year. And so if I go through the show and I, get triggered memory wise, like, oh yeah, I remember we did this really outrageous thing with this particular car that I can't talk about in public. We'll talk a little bit about that in, with the tour. But,
Look at that. The Continental seats.
Seats are nice.
Yeah. That's way nicer.
It's like, do you have scoliosis? Forget stretching. Just buy a Lincoln.
I'm all about that. I need to get one of these as a press car. That is a pretty sweet looking interior. That looks, at least in photographs, pretty much as nice as a well, maybe not a Range Rover, but Jaguar.
We should go to Mammoth. Be a good car from them.
Oh yeah, we should book a Mammoth trip. You a winter sports guy?
I'm actually doing one. I'm doing a bachelor party in January.
Are you?
In Tahoe, actually.
Gangster.
Yeah.
What
So,
mountain?
I suggested Heavenly, so it just depends
good
on
one.
which cabin we end up getting. But yeah, we're gonna do a whole
Ski, snowboard.
snowboard.
How many? When did you whole time snowboard?
I
did you
lo-
start or switch?
I learned in 2002 during a high school trip, and so I did it straight for a week, and so I became somewhat proficient.
Yeah.
and I haven't.
It's
done
the
it
best way to learn.
You haven't done it
Haven't
since
done
high
it
school?
since.
Oh man, you're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You don't
Bring
buy a
some knee
helmet.
pads and a helmet. Yeah.
You
Well,
go-
hopefully it's
Have
powder.
fun.
You're going to fall down.
Yeah.
What month are you going? January?
January.
Yeah, the snow will be
There'll
nice.
some snow.
Yeah.
it'd be good.
So
It'll be a nice 60 degrees. It'll be nice.
yeah.
What do we got going on this week? Well,
We have a meeting.
got the last one take shoot.
We have
The last
Happy Cast.
one take shoot.
It's gonna be
is
crazy.
tomorrow. I had 2 cancellations.
Oh God.
It's like your last shift at a restaurant. It's like you're
Yeah.
cut anyway. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
No, I got some fast cars we're driving tomorrow. I'll
Nice.
take the Mustang for good times.
The end of an institution, really.
I might just film a 30-minute rant on the end of one takes while driving the Mustang down the hill from the last shoot. That could be the
What is
thing.
the seed of your rant?
I don't know.
Okay.
Not a rant, like a
Oh, okay.
negative rant. A rant implies negative.
Yes.
Maybe a monologue.
Okay.
A recapitulation.
Not negative. Yeah. So what are you going to drive to Radwood?
So that's the thing. I haven't planned anything to drive. I
Oh,
was
you should
getting
talk to the Clarion guys.
well. That would
They've
be
got
cool.
a bunch of cars they need driven over there.
Oh, I would love to volunteer for that. I was
Yeah.
I was thinking like, okay, what if I would just take my Fox body to a shop and just get it done over a weekend and just get it there somehow,
It just needs
Call
a clutch
Bill
cable.
Caswell and someone to provide, a case of beer, an eighth of marijuana.
Well, if Caswell
She'll be
does it,
good
it'll
to
take
go.
6 hours. If you take
Yeah.
it to a shop, it'll take 1.
Yeah. I mean, that would be nice to get my Fox body running in a weekend and just drive it down to Radwood. That would be cool.
I think that would be cool.
yeah.
I think it'd be extremely cool. But if
Yeah.
you didn't want to do that, and I can think of fucking a lot of reasons not to do that.
6 days away.
Oh,
Yeah,
Caswell
it's-
just texted me.
Yeah.
call the Clarion Builds guys because they've got quite a few vehicles.
What do they have besides the NSX and the 2002?
They got an 850. They put a manual in.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's
That's
fire.
cool.
They said I could drive it. When Jubal came over
Brass balls.
to install my stereo system, thank you Clarion Builds, in my Porsche. Now I have Bluetooth and USB. He was saying it's they swapped it in a manual, which apparently was not that difficult, and they got the parts from a BMW dealer.
Whoa.
Which came new in a crate.
Wow.
And are
Yeah.
you using a Clarion head unit in your Porsche, or is it one of those Porsche?
No, I'm
navigation?
using a Clarion one.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. They took it. The original one didn't come with the car. It had some shitty Pioneer thing from, not to impugn Pioneer, but this thing was from like 1992 or whatever. And so we just ripped it out. The speakers are still trash, but he had to measure what size to order the replacements. So
Okay.
we're gonna-
Nice.
Yeah.
But
That's
it
awesome.
works. It's got Bluetooth and the head unit. If you look at my Instagram, dude, this head unit actually pull up Timmy Clarion M508 or just go to my Instagram. Yeah, scroll down just a little bit.
Oh, I see. your
There it
outfit.
is.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's not. I like it because it's not super blingy.
Right. It's not all blue
It doesn't
and
look
red
like a
and-
fucking nightclub.
Yeah.
Now, fairness,
in.
the backlight on the buttons is blue. The backlight on the screen is white.
Can
but,
you change the backlight color?
No,
Okay.
you cannot. But it doesn't look like a nightclub. It's just a basic, simple thing. I'm attempting to get that Grimace license.
Yeah, that's
plate.
really cool.
People are saying in the comments of that post that you actually can't use numbers as letters.
Yeah.
That people have been denied like that. Now that process through, the state took my money. It didn't deny me that. But apparently people have gotten denied by mail.
Well,
But the
one guy said
example,
it- yeah,
the
go
example
ahead.
that they used was F1ST.
Yeah.
And I was like, I might think that they might think that means something else.
Right. Yeah. It seems they'd be like it's either violent or sexual. Grimace. Hopefully they watch TV in the '90s, right?
Yeah, it's McDonald. It's Ronald McDonald's like stupid friend.
Yeah, the big
Yeah,
purple one.
purple guy.
It's
Yeah.
appropriately Radwood.
It's appropriately Radwood.
He was shaped
Yeah.
like a beanbag chair that lost some of the
The smoke
filling.
tire is rolling heavy to Radwood.
Definitely.
We're bringing 4 cars.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. Do you have a costume ready, Zach, for
Oh,
Radwood?
yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, you're
'Cause
surprising?
I'm going to your soiree before that.
Oh, that's true,
So
yeah.
I don't want to give it away now.
That's true. We just blew up the spot that there's a soiree.
Well, they don't know where it's happening, and they're
Yeah.
not invited. So
There's a soiree. You're invited to the soiree. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
That
man.
was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Manuel Carrillo, thanks. Where can we find you?
The easiest way is Instagram.com/MC3Films. Link to my YouTube channel is there too. So that's
I put the link in description for you.
yes.
I put the link in description.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So that's
We can throw that on the screen for all our video fans.
Mm-hmm.
MC3 Films.
and then all the internet brand sites, and including a little bit of Motor Authority too. Do a little bit of writing for them too.
I'm excited for your Porsche to be working, and then we can go be little. I was out driving this morning with Spike and them, and there must have been some PCA event because I saw more Porsches all over the place,
okay.
and I saw a 17-year-old in GT3 RS and wanted to cry.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
Malibu. Well, thanks for coming in. We'll
Yeah,
have you
man.
back. You're local, right?
Yeah,
You're
down in El
here?
Segundo.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have you in. We'll have you in again. It's
Oh, thanks,
nice.
man.
We'll keep you on the local rotation.
Okay. Cool.
There's a last minute locals rotation too, which is good. Good to be on if you're around.
Anytime, man.
Oh, thanks, Manuel.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right, the Smoke Tire Podcast powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast. ShoutEngine.com. All you need is some kind of internet connection, some kind of sound detecting device, and in theory, as I like to say, something to fucking say. But that's it. Clapman, you got anything else?
That's it.
All right. These hoes ain't loyal. Timmy, take us out of here. Good day.